Hey Ellis, these flowers came for you.
Ooh, thanks. Dear Ellis, I've been watching your video series and I just want to say I'm a huge fan. The experts you have are so insightful and helpful. Thank you for all the advice. Wishing you the best of luck with future shows of the Success Lab. This is the worst. Hi, and welcome to the Success Lab. My name is Ellis.
And my name is Ramon with Infusionsoft. Thanks for watching. We know that small businesses have a lot of challenges. And one of the challenges they have is with their sales and marketing. That's actually two challenges. And what we hope to do with this is to help small business owners and entrepreneurs understand how they can get new customers and how you can keep the customers you have and get them to buy more from you.
And that's why we're here every week to answer your small business sales and marketing questions.
So, Ellis, what is our question of the week?
This week's question is from Maria. I've been running my dance studio for 4 years. It's doing all right, not amazing, but we're getting by. I started the studio because I'm so passionate about dance, and I still love getting up in the morning and doing it. But my family is not supportive. My husband complains that I'm doing too much work for not enough money, but he doesn't understand that I've been increasing my prices consistently for the past year. He says I'm not spending enough time with the kids or pulling my fair share of the weight, but he works for a large company with regular hours, and my hours are far more unpredictable. My parents and my in-laws keep asking me when I'm going to get a real job or just become a real stay-at-home mom already. Frankly, they're driving me nuts. How do I make them see that yes, I'm working a lot, but this is a real job, I'm growing steadily, but not rapidly, and that I really need their support?
Wow.
That is a big question.
That is a very big question. So, Ellis, I think that, and we're going to talk about this and have a discussion and see how we can help. Maria, yes?
Maria.
Maria. So, I think the overall thing, what I'm seeing here, Ellis, is that it's a communication problem. That's what I think. And I think that what I'm hearing about her husband, I'm hearing about her family not supporting her, I can understand her frustrations. But I would suggest that she probably needs to go back to them and explain maybe what she's doing. How does mommy, in this case, it could be anybody, but how does your wife earn a living?
Yep.
I think that's one. I know I've had to do this with my family and show them, hey, this check came in, it's money. This didn't grow on a tree. It's because I did this that this check came in. So I think showing them how she works, and I think point two is maybe going back and just even beyond how she works, getting the core values, getting the vision shared with her husband and her. That I think is the part that's missing. Here's my dream of what I want to do. Here's the goal. Here's the journey. You know, asking her husband, what do you think? Will you join me in this journey?
Right. I definitely think that this calls for a really, really open discussion,
Yes.
which might be uncomfortable for everyone. But, you know, I would say sit down with your husband and go over that, and then bring the kids in and say, like, this is how I make my living. This is how I pay for you to do all these things, and say, so let's work together to figure out how we can make sure everyone's needs are being met, not just financial needs.
Yep.
I think you're right.
Yeah. And I think that also, I think another thing she could do, it sounds maybe corny or whatever, and first, these people should watch our show. But I think after they watch this, they should watch Shark Tank. And I say that because my wife and I, we had a very similar discussion when she said, I'm an entrepreneur, as you know, I work for Infusionsoft, I have other ventures that I do as well. And she didn't really understand the world of business. She didn't understand the aspect of business in general. Smart lady, but that just wasn't her cup of tea. But after watching several episodes of Shark Tank and seeing business owners there who are pouring out their hearts, pouring out their lives, in tears, crying for their dreams, yes. And other part of this, Ellis, I want to talk about is beyond the dream. Maria has to make some money, but sharing their dreams and the money they're trying to make, she understood it.
Yeah.
And she had a bigger vision, said, Ramon, for example, like, would you take our kids' college money for one of your businesses? And I said, yes, I would. Now, not in a wasteful way. Again, keep in mind, there's a balance of that being stupid, but it's just meaning, if this is what you have to do and this is your dream and you believe in it, this is part of being an entrepreneur is risk.
Right, and to me it sounds like what you had to do, and maybe what Maria needs to do, is also sit down and refine everybody's expectations. So, like, what is her husband expecting of her, right? And is that in line with her reality? What is she expecting from her family and from her husband? Is that in line from what she's getting? Is she getting enough support? Is her husband getting enough support? Because being married to an entrepreneur can be very difficult.
Yes, yes.
So I think that everyone needs to know what the expectations are so that you can better communicate and meet everybody's needs.
But you're right, Ellis. I think the expectations are so important because I think it's important for her to understand that her husband and her family's issue is that, are you making money? Which is a reality. She
Yes.
can have a passion. We all have passions. We're all entrepreneurs. But I think at the end of the day, in fairness, if your passion is not making money for the family that you're feeding and supporting, I think that's where it goes back to the heart-to-heart communication of,
Right.
you know, if your goal for a family budget is $100,000 or $50,000 a year and your husband's making half it or whatever, you have to have a discussion. So.
And definitely when you're having that conversation, I think, Maria, that it can be hard to be afraid to present how much or how little you're making. But I think maybe for your husband, that's going to be really important, because if he doesn't really know how much you're making, even if you've raised your prices, like if he doesn't know, then he's just kind of in the dark about what's going on, and what he sees is that you're at work, because maybe you're at home doing other things when he's at work, right? So it's all about just kind of laying it out there.
Right. And I think it's funny, it's amazing because she said she raised her prices, and he was saying you're not bringing in the money, whatever that may be that we need for our family.
Right.
She was saying she raised her prices, which is what entrepreneurs would say. I'm doing better than I was yesterday. But the family and the husband are thinking of another thing. So I think it's funny, somebody in my church, Ellis, had said, Ramon, it's so nice that you're just sitting at the computer typing all day and you get to just sit around. Because she didn't understand, you know, what I do. So going
Right.
back to expectations. And about the family, Ellis, I mean, let's talk
Yeah.
about that. I think her and her husband communicating is one thing,
Right.
but we all know cases where the family adds pressure to you.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing in your business? You're just at home, or you just carousing around in your car?
Why
or
don't you
whatever.
get a real job?
Yes. So I think going back to, I think her and her husband is what I would say first.
Right.
Get them clear.
Yep.
Talk to the kids. Point to, show them, here's what mommy does, here's what I do for a living. And I've had to do that myself. And I think 3 then, once they're okay in that solid foundation, which is most important, then have a family meeting and just say, here's what me and John or whatever,
Right.
here's what we're doing.
And if they're going to support you, then they'll listen. And if they're not going to, well, then you have to rely on your husband and your kids for that support,
Absolutely.
which they should give you.
So thank you for watching. My name is Ramon Ray. This is the and if you're an expert and want to be on the show, or if you're a small business owner and you have a question, please do reach out to us and contact us. We'd love to have you on the show or help answer your question. And Ellis, how can they do that?
They can email us at blog@infusionsoft.com. And I am Ellis, and thanks for watching.
Awesome. Thank you.